Oh, well, okay. That's weird. I think we're actually live right now. I thought, no, 25 seconds. There we go. Well, hello. I'm the black square, Josh Longs, talking at you from a Wi-Fi constrained place, and I'm joined by my friend and former colleague, the amazing, the legendary, the inimitable Mark Kropf. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me on.
On this, as a one black void square to another, it's very good to see you. Well, or not see you. I'm imagining you're there.
Yeah, the things we do to protect the precious Wi-Fi we have.
Oh God. And this is not a problem. I mean, it's a first world problem. Okay, I get it. But it still feels terrible. You know, you're, I, I've been flying United for 16 plus years now, and well, in earnest, in anger. You know, I've been flying them for a long time, and I flew them intermittently before that, but like routinely for 16 years. And some flights, like when I just had a few weeks ago, there's no Wi-Fi, and then other flights they have Starlink, which is faster than my fiber at home. You know, well, no, it's not faster than my. It's up there. It's faster than my fiber as it's being relayed by my Wi-Fi. You know, I have the Amazon Eero Wi-Fi, so it's the mesh cannot give me the wall speeds of the fiber. So it's just amazing. In 2026 we can have on the same service and the same mechanism and the same thing, we can have no internet and then sometimes some of the fastest internet I've ever had. You know.
Yeah, having put a few million miles into the United States as well,
Yep.
buddy.
Yeah.
I feel you there. When you're on one that's fast, I don't know which one I prefer. Sometimes I like the no internet because it's like, well, I can actually just relax. There's no excuse
Right.
to work. And then
Right.
with the internet, it's like, well, I better put this to good use.
I like to code. I like to relax by coding, and that requires the internet. So I feel like I'm being. I mean, I could just watch a movie like one of those.
Like a
psychopaths.
civilian.
Yeah, it's freaky. Well, anyway, Mark, good to see you despite the internet. Who are you? Introduce yourself so that other people can enjoy you as much as I always do.
Awesome. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Mark Kropf. Josh and I go way back to the Pivotal era, but most of my career prior to Pivotal, after, I've been focused on developer experience and really kind of living my professional life like I do in a game of Factorio, where I love automation and love like treating developers like first-class citizens of everything I do.
Nice.
So that's what brought me here.
What is developer experience? I thought developers, they had their own experiences. To what extent do you inform that or influence that?
You know, as a software developer, I kind of think I've seen the jokes of it's everything from blueberry muffins to in the pantry to it's automation and really nice laptops and tooling. So I see it as the holistic view of developing software should be joyful.
Yeah.
And you should be able to accomplish the one and only important goal of getting to production frequently.
Yes.
Without a lot of stress and toil. And so what you and I worked at Pivotal with Cloud Foundry was all about like, how do I go from code to it's up and running in production really, really quick?
Right.
I think AI started off as here's a chat interface, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But eventually it's going to have to meet people where they already are if it wants to carry forward like the work we want to do. And that's kind of what I'm focused on now.
So developer experience then is about the ambient, like, I mean, it's also about the main thing, but it's all about, what is it? I don't know, like a fast lane to focusing on code, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it's, if you think about like user experience, right? Like some of the best user experience is the stuff you don't see or need to know. It just kind of works intuitively. And so when I think about developer experience, you kind of just want like, oh, I wrote some code and that code does the thing I want it to do, and it should just get out of your way. And like all the stuff that serves that developer should just complement them well, whether it be getting more to production faster or catching problems before they click commit. It's that kind of stuff.
Okay. I like it. And this is I've seen this attacked at different levels. You see frameworks in the software space. Obviously, you see automation. You see cloud platforms like Cloud Foundry. There's whole movements around, GitOps, things like that. Sort of streamlining the idea from you type something, you see it delivered, and beyond from concept to code and customer, that kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, I think if you're Spring Dev, like the annotations that you get to benefit from feels like developer experience in its own, right? Like take something that in a lot of other platforms just haven't figured out how to do the obvious yet and make it very easy to go from 0 to hero with just a few lines. That it's the same idea.
Okay, okay, now we got a grounded definition here, and I know how we would have solved that, or some of the ways we tried to solve that back in the old Pivotal days, which, by the by, for people wondering, hasn't been a thing for like 6 years. So things will certainly have moved on by then. I think there's been almost as many years since Pivotal as there were years of Pivotal, but the diaspora is large and emanates in every direction. So what does the state of the art look like today?
Well, this is kind of why I hopped back into like doing my own thing. Is I was trying to write software like a modern developer in 2025 or 2026.
Right.
I kept running into like, am I working for AI or is AI working for me? Right? Like sometimes it's like I have to go approve this thing. I have to go to like some NPM site and click I'm human. I have to approve something else. I have to go to this app and grab that thing the AI needs. And it kind of felt like at some point I was the employee,
right,
and not the person choosing what's going on.
You're the gopher. You're the guy that's supposed to go for things. Yeah.
Yeah, like it almost felt like I was the thing solving CAPTCHAs for something else, right? It felt like the role was wrong.
Yeah.
It's certainly not what all the big LLM providers built AI to do. In fact, when I was at Google, like our focus back then, many moons ago, when it was Bard before it became Gemini, even it was like, how do we make this thing super, super useful for people?
Yeah.
And I kept running in as I was trying to like just do the basics. Like I was always serving AI. And then on top of that, if you get into a good flow state,
yeah,
you're kind of limited to like how much can I cram into a chat window. And the chat window felt really awkward for me as a software developer. Like that's not exactly what I was hoping to use.
Right. It doesn't feel like you're developing it. You could be just as easily looking for recipes for, chicken in a bucket or something. It's like when you go to your IDE, you know what you're about to do. It's
exactly
best, right? But yeah, okay, go on.
Well, it's funny. My attention. Many moons ago, Josh, I don't know if you know this, I contributed code to the Eclipse project. And it was IRC support for Eclipse, which is a horrible idea. You should not have chat in your IDE, especially if you want to ship code consistently. But it kind of felt like going back to those roots of like early 2000s where I was goofing around with that.
But actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind chat. If I could like disable all the notifications and then just selectively turn on the ones I want. Actually, that's a pretty brilliant idea. But you're right. I'd probably get distracted, just like I am right now. Go on.
Yeah, so those were the two things that I kept running into. Is I was like, I want to ship a lot of software of a level in which I would stand behind, and I do it quick in this new setup.
Wait, do you still write Java code?
A little bit.
And do you use Eclipse or IntelliJ? Is a non-important question.
I'm an IntelliJ user. I miss my Eclipse days, but those were like even longer ago than the Pivotal era.
Oh yeah, BP, before Pivotal. I get it. So you've got this new effort, and how does that change the game?
So what happened was I didn't originally build this for anyone but myself. I was
Yeah.
selfishly sitting there saying, well, I'm leaving tokens on the table. So, a lot of us have these subscriptions. In fact, the Claude email went out the other day saying, hey, on weekends, off
Yeah,
hours, we're going to give you
rationing.
twice as much.
I saw that. The rationing will continue until RAM prices improve. Like,
Yeah,
wow.
it's so crazy that, like, okay, now am I supposed to work in off hours? And also, like, the 1 million context window, like, these are all great news if, like, I live the way the LLMs tell me to. So anyways, I kept running into these boundaries, and sometimes when my, like, quota would reset weekly, I was like, darn, I left tokens on the table. Like, that's
Right.
productivity that I paid cold cash for and then didn't use.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find a way to scale what I was doing without, like, chatting more with the LLM. Like, the last thing I wanted to do is just type more into a chat box.
Right.
And so I built this thing. It's called Agent Factory. It's out there. It's MIT licensed. The whole world can go and
Ooh.
play with it. And it comes from our, like, software factory, thoughts around that concept. And the idea is, like, right now it supports linear. I know linear is not used by large, respectable enterprise as much as it is startups lately, but I do see them, like, it has a really amazing user experience.
What
And
is
so I
linear?
started there. Linear is like a task tracking or a project management software. Think of it like Jira that looks beautiful and works well.
Okay.
And so I plugged, first it was just getting my agents plugged into that. So now I just write a story in a backlog, kind of like Pivotal Tracker back in the day.
Okay.
Sometimes the story is, like, ready to action on. Other times it's like, hey, I don't really understand enough about this agent to agent language. Do some research on agent to agent and how can this project use it. It
Yeah.
comes back, fills out some stories, like, here's how it could use it. And then I have a backlog writer. Think of it kind of like a traditional product manager. It'll go write some stories, and then I'll go and tweak them and say, you know what, I like this, I don't like that. And then I
So
can aim it at
the
a feature
input.
to work on.
Let me see. I'm already kind of swimming here. So you went to your linear, created a ticket or an issue or whatever, and you said, I
Yep.
want to understand agent-to-agent communication. The
Yes.
agents then elaborated on that for you, expanded that into other possible threads as new
Yeah. In
issues or
fact,
what?
it came back and it's like, here's the group at Google that built this. Oh, by the way, Spring AI is using it. And it went and compiled, like, an ecosystem view. It went and did all the research that I enjoy doing, but, like, it did it really, really quick.
Nice. So you could just to get the TLDR and distill the important stuff.
Yeah. So I got that and I'm like, you know what? This feels worth doing. But even though I was a product manager for many moons, like, I don't want to go and dice up this research and write well-shaped issues and tickets and stories. So I had another agent go and do that. And then I found things that I didn't quite like in those stories or issues, and I fixed some of that. But then I handed it off to agents to go work on it. And so this agent factory that I built can do all of this all at the same time. And so, of course, it uses, like, work trees. It's multi-LLM. It can use Spring AI to go connect out to those agents, and those agents can communicate through the factory. And then you can scale
So is
out.
the agent factory kind of like a coordination hub as well?
Yeah, it's like orchestration, coordination. It has kind of a pipeline mindset to it. So it's like, here's things queued up. If only we had more compute capacity to go knock out this work.
Oh, you can you scale out horizontally as soon as you spin up more worker nodes? It does more work, or what?
Yep. Just like the folks playing with OpenClaw on their Mac Mini, I have two Mac Studios here with about a terabyte of RAM. I can run against local LLMs. Like Kimmy's really nice. Been working with that one.
What? A terabyte of RAM? That's probably enough to run Slack at this point. Wow.
I was going to say Discord, but yeah, Slack or Discord could totally run on that.
Maybe even both. The computing power today is amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on. I'm just
all the Chrome tabs.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Incredible.
So yeah, spin up fleets, and a fleet of agents is just basically a reserved amount of compute in a repo boundary,
Mm-hmm.
and you assign that to a project. And so I've got multiple projects up and running. And it's funny because I actually ran out of like pet projects quickly because I was just cranking out so much every day. It spent me more time to go use the software I was building than it did to make it.
Right.
And so I was looking for something really gnarly, like a nobody wants to do this work kind of project.
Right.
And I stumbled. I don't know if you've heard of this open source project. It's called Beyond. Have you played Bar, the game, before?
No, not yet.
Oh my goodness. It's kind of addictive.
Okay.
Beyond All Reason is the name of the game, and it runs on an
Okay.
open source game engine. It used to be called Spring, ironically enough, and they used to have a problem where Spring devs kept joining their chat channels and be like, "Hey, I've got this question about Spring Boot," and they're like, "Wrong Spring." But now it's called Recoil. So I looked at it, and I've got a lot of Mac equipment in my home, and I don't have a lot of
Sure.
x86 stuff. And even if I did, who can afford NVIDIA GPUs nowadays, right?
No, or RAM. Yeah.
Or RAM or anything. And so I looked.
Yeah, exactly. It's terrible.
They support Windows, they support Linux, they support so much, but they don't support Metal and Mac. And there have been many people that have looked at it like, this is nearly impossible. No human has enough time to pull this work off. And I was like, exactly what I'm looking for. This is no one asked for it. They had hey, don't go and aim AI at our pull requests, which I totally respect and do not like that impact of AI right now.
Right.
And so I sat down and I was like, great, I'm going to fork this thing and just see what happens.
Yeah, YOLO.
About 1 billion tokens later, I can run Bar on my Mac Studio.
You're kidding. Oh, wow. Did you send them that pull request? How'd that go?
So being a kind, open source minded human myself, I said, you know what? Why don't I submit ARM64 support for Linux? Because that seems like a positive thing, right? And then I built in Metal compilation just for the game engine itself, and as a separate, well-scoped, small pull request. And so we're just trickling it in, and I'm working with the team. The team's been really receptive, and they're a fun group. So if you want to contribute to some good open source gaming, I can't recommend enough the Beyond All Reason community. It's a cool game too, like multiplayer strategy with it's like StarCraft with 200 people playing at the same time. It's kind of crazy.
Multiplayer?
Yes, 200 people playing at the same time, like a StarCraft kind of game, but massively multiplayer. It's incredible. For anyone still tuned in, Josh is dialing back in. He's wrestling the corporate Wi-Fi gods at the moment.
Hello.
He lives. Welcome back, Josh.
Can you know?
Yes, you kind of are Daft Punk mode, but oh, and you're gone.
Hear me?
Yes, I can
Testing,
hear you
testing.
again.
Oh goodness, sorry about that, everybody. I was dealing with the worst internet in the world. That's the internet telling us we should hurry. But okay, that's okay. When I release this podcast, I'll surely just edit out that insane 5 minute gap of silence and dead air. Sorry about that. So
All
anyway,
good.
you had a bunch of agents working on a number of different projects, and they contributed successfully a bunch of small, discrete, open source minded pull requests to bar or beyond all no to a recoil, the framework that was used to build beyond all
Reason. Yep.
reason. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
So we got that. I've launched some personal projects. One of them, Josh McKenty, good
Oh yeah,
comic bars.
the better Josh, as I call him affectionately.
Yeah, exactly. Him and I always talk about how there's no business for a personal CRM. Think of like Salesforce for keeping in touch with prior colleagues and friends and the rest.
Right.
I built one of those that I'm using every day because it's one of those things where there might not be a good business, but it's really good software to have in the world.
Right.
So
Like LinkedIn, but better.
Yeah.
Interesting. See, I like this. I think there's a tension, and of course you're getting this code generated in such a way that you'd be happy to maintain it if the nukes should drop and all the power went out and we had to just write our own code again, like, or are you just having it generated in assembly? Like, what's the output?
No. In fact, like this kind of touches on something. My opinion around a lot of the LLMs is that even if this is the norm for everyone going forward, I still think we should write code that we would want to maintain. Not just capable of maintaining, but like when I see the output, I want to, like, AI is kind of raising tastemaker. Like the role of humans in this is, I have my opinions. They're strongly held, loosely held. Strongly held, right?
Yep.
And like, I think that's kind of, it's the same reason why, Ruby and Rails, why did Rails succeed? It wasn't necessarily because of the Ruby language, because AJ had a lot of strong opinions about, being a tastemaker for web app back in the day.
Right.
And so it's the same idea now. AI needs tastemakers. Otherwise, it's everything that's ever been written in every language of code, everywhere, the good and the bad and the ugly.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to go constrain all of that down to stuff that we would actually want to maintain.
Well, exactly. And this is there we go. That's exactly the crux of my sort of sentiment, which is, by definition, these AI models are trained on the large corpus of code written by every single person on the planet. And most of those people's code, I wouldn't want to use in my application, and I don't care for it in my regurgitated AI code either.
Exactly. Yeah. And just because it's constrained to a framework you like doesn't necessarily mean it's going to implement the patterns that are useful for your use case. Like there's a lot of people that work in like massive regulated industries. There's a lot of Spring devs in that space.
Yep. Sure.
And they have a menu of what they can and can't use.
Very small.
And LLMs have a hard time just remembering on their own, like, oh, I'm here working at insert really big regulated institution. I better not do this thing that I'm not supposed to do. So in a way, all the tools, whether it be skills, plugins, agents, all this stuff is designed to kind of constrain the unopinionated form of it down to opinions. And I think the role of humans and like really smart software engineers, like people listen to your podcast, like our job is to go and be the tastemakers going forward.
I agree. I want the code that these things produce to be palatable And because I think at the end of the day, the models aren't quite at the level where they're not good product managers. They are good in the small doses, but if you just give them a vague or unclear specification and say go forth and do, you'll end up either in this iterative process, and then in which case you might be specifying things that you might just be faster at writing out yourself, or they'll give you something you don't want. And so I think having the ability to reason about the code, to look at it and say, I know what good looks like and this isn't it, that's still super valuable.
Yeah, and I think we have to have a workflow where humans can dive in and out of the process.
Yep.
Right. Like I have product management opinions to how stuff is scoped and like what test harness I want to use and stuff like that. And I want to be able to dive in and do that without stepping on toes. And then I also want to be able to pull out and say, you know what? AI is going to continue this process forward because I've already put enough of my taste and opinion.
Right. You've driven it to a point where it can't possibly arrive at the wrong result, which is good. But that's a lot of upfront. I think that's a good point. We invariably in the 60s, you never heard developers complaining about how compilers were taking their jobs, right? Like I think this is just pushing all developers up a level of abstraction, a level of involvement. We're no longer compiling our own code. Similarly, we're no longer writing as much of it. We're becoming everybody's becoming a product manager and architect.
Yeah. And maybe if you have some deep specialization, right? Like, so I've worked with people that like understand how to process frames from a camera at super high speed and, really bespoke skills.
Yeah.
Like
Very
there's
useful.
still a huge need for like, what does good look like for that problem?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a good point. Like there's some problems that just haven't been solved before. So like, for example, Linus Torvalds working on the kernel, there's probably not a lot of examples on how to write the kernel. There's only a few kernels out there that you can look at. So I think some people will still be very well positioned.
Yeah. And if we can solve those problems in similar ways, maybe we can move that type of development forward faster and include more people in it.
Yes. What is Agent Factory? This thing is on GitHub.
Yep.
It's MIT licensed. And how is it built? What is it? What is it built in of itself?
So, I'll ask your listeners to forgive me because I built a lot of in TypeScript because at the time I was working on a project that was already in TypeScript and I just needed to extend it from there.
Right.
Right. So it's kind of legacy code for this community's purpose, but it does run. I run a dashboard where you can check in on your factory, which is kind of handy. I can see I can be at dinner and be like, how's the factory producing all those products for me? How's it going?
Right.
It has native integrations into things like Claude. I'm sure people have used that. Codex. Gemini is coming along well. Also, AMP code is supported. And of course, Spring AI.
Oh, yeah.
And it's pretty easy. There's a bunch of packages out there. You can consume as much or as little as you want. And you can just get up and running with a few commands and test it out.
Okay. Sounds really cool. Can't wait to see this. And so are you starting a company around this? Like what's your, direction here?
Yeah, it's funny. I went from... I need this selfishly because I'm tired of chatting in chat windows all day.
Yeah.
To, oh, wow, I'm running all of my LLM accounts out of tokens every week. To, wow, other people have the same problem, and I'm just going to put some open source out into the world and see if it's useful.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? I'm looking at saying, maybe this is the next platform that we need. Like, there's lots of really good solutions out there for agents, and like picking agents and defining and doing workloads and workflows. But I don't see a lot in the space of like, how do we orchestrate a fleet of agents across a whole big space and do this? And if I'm using it at home, I imagine if you're like insert some mega corporation, you probably have the same problem.
That's fair, true. Yeah. Or even if you're just a very ambitious, yeah, exactly. If you're using it at home, like if you're just an ambitious, self-driven person, and you've got a lot of plates in the air, this could be very useful as well. Because I think I use tools like, have you ever used FP or Goose or?
Oh yeah.
various tools that you can use to start and kind of follow up on processes, but it doesn't feel like they still feel like just a multi-window ChatGPT. You know, it doesn't feel like an operating system for
I
my
think a
agents.
lot of
You know?
those tools and even some of like the things that say they're orchestrators in the open source space right now feel like frameworks more than they feel like platforms.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I need somewhere for the state of like where's my project at and how's it going and how many
Yep.
workers do I have active and what's failing, what's the cost going. Like there needs to be a central place to do that.
CF apps
Yep,
for
CF
agents.
apps. Exactly. And also it needs to connect to backlogs, right? Like real grown-up businesses, they all have places they track work. And I kind of don't think they're going to give up on that and say, you know what,
No.
project managers, you go work in a chat window and see what happens.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
this is more about connecting people into the world of AI than it is like automating what already exists.
Have you pointed your agent factory at building an integration for Jira?
You know, there's a colleague of ours that is working over at Asana that I talked to. So I think Asana might be number 2.
Nice.
So we have Linear today, Asana
Yeah.
next. I can see like a spreadsheet and some other things, and definitely Jira, Trello,
Yeah.
Jira. Let's just include everybody. 'Cause
Right.
go
Eventually.
to work, you don't choose the platform you write issues in.
Right.
So
Just promise me that you won't do a clear case that has no business in anybody's future.
clear case. Oh well, you know, it did run on Java, didn't it?
It doesn't matter. Terrible things have been done in the name of all sorts of reasons. Didn't matter if they use Java. Oh, God. Fair. That's amazing, my friend. That's super cool. This kind of stuff I like to go explore and check out. And maybe I'll poke around and see what's going on that and try it out. I encourage the listeners to go do that as well. Is it literally just github.com agent factory? You got that organization?
I don't actually own that name, so who
Oh,
knows
okay.
where the name will go, but it's github.com/Rensei. So it's RENSEIAI,
Yeah.
which means forge in Japanese. I was trying to be clever, you know. And then Agent Factory is the repo in that.
That is really cool. That's even cooler. So Agent Factory and Forge, kind of like the same thing. Agent Forge.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's my thought. Keep it
That is
thematic.
cool. Man, where I always enjoy talking to you, but I'm sure people will have questions, comments, feedback, tomatoes, whatever. Where do they find you? Are you on the internet? Do you want to be found? And if so, where can people find you?
I'm all over the interwebs. So I'm just at my name. So at MarkKrop, P as in Paul, F as in Frank. You can find me on the gram, the Twitter, the emails, all the places with that.
LinkedIn.
Yep, definitely on LinkedIn.
The GitHub.
All the places. GitHub, all the same name.
Nice. All right. Well, okay, my friend. Thank you for your time. Sorry we lost 5 minutes in the very beginning and then 5 minutes in the middle.
It's all good. We'll fix it in post, right?
Yeah, surely. I just use the AI to clean it up, and I can do that, so it'll be great. Thank you.
There we go. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.